What is going on, team? Brandon Gentile here. It's Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. Please share truth. Anytime you see it, whether it's here, somewhere else, please share it. Algorithm hates truth. We start every video like this. Algorithm hates truth. The only way to see a world that you wish to see is become the change you want to see and then spread truth. That's it. It's the only thing. So, what is going on today? Wow, what a world we are living in. The former president of the United States indicted and at his arraignment today, and we live in absolute clown world. Absolute clown world. An entire CNN's back in business. They are back. We are back. Just like Hangover, incredible movie, and the entire page is Trump, 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 Trump. This is how, again, question everything, even the existence of God himself, right? Majority of Americans approve of Trump indictment. Guys, when we get into actual, like, the details, actual statistics of what's going on, people don't approve of that. What people actually approve of is if someone did something wrong, they should be held accountable. Most people agree with that. But when you get in, I'm not even going to spend time on this, but when you actually get into what this is, people just want to have things be taken care of the proper way, the right way. That's really what we want. We have the people like on the fringes that they don't care either way what happens. They just want their guy to win and things like that. But that's what they want. That's all they want. That's why we talk about an equal playing field, not equal outcomes, equal playing field. That's what Americans are sick of. Americans are sick of a two-tier justice system. We're sick of people just getting away with things. We're sick of watching Nancy Pelosi stock picker Twitter handle get censored because it's doing better than the Ray Dalio's Bridgewater hedge fund, like that, because Nancy Pelosi on the inside trading, and yet nothing happens. Nothing happens at all. We live in an absolute simulation, and until people start realizing that, 1, 3, 5, maybe 10% of the population understands that and removes themselves from the system, things won't change. We'll have more of the same. We'll have more of this garbage going on. Yeah, the first president, only president in 250 years this happened to, getting arraigned. The guy's, let's be honest, the guy's a genius. And he's, coming in here looking like RoboCop, walking in here. And it's just brilliant. It just boosts support for him as well. And he's genius. It's absolute genius. And he's 12 steps ahead of the average political wonk. And it shows. So that's what's going on in the world. And so what is going on in the markets, though? Some crazy stuff going on as well that needs to be talked about, which is, the Saudis cutting, Jamie Dimon saying the banking crisis is not over. We'll have some little breakout videos here as well about these, but it's not over and will cause repercussions for years to come. So that's what's on. So this is why the market's been easing and is easing. Finland officially becoming the 31st member of NATO. Russia warns they'll take countermeasures. Yeah, and just like they've said all along, you guys keep taking ground and going against, hey, America, you keep going against your treaty that you set up with us 30 years ago. We're going to take countermeasures. And they've given us 30 years to warning, and we just never heed the warnings. We just do whatever we want, and of course this is what happens. Of course Russia ends up attacking. Of course things end up happening because we keep going against what we said, what we promised we were going to do 30 years ago. If you want to go see how this plays out, Mike Maloney's video of this expansion, it was like 5-6 years ago, he did this video and shows the last 30 years of expansion. NATO is increasingly coming towards the border of Russia, and Russia just saying, like, hey, we're going to take action. So I'm not for either side. I'm not for Russia. I'm not for Ukraine. I don't care either way. But we're here to call balls and strikes, though. That's what we're going to do. We're going to call balls and strikes and call things as they are. And the imperialist countries just keep going to do imperialist things. We're going to keep saber rattling. We're going to keep pushing the boundaries, and until people snap eventually. And that's what's happening now. You're seeing in the East with Russia and just many things going on with China, whatever. So anyway, and then the big thing with Saudi Arabia. This has been happening for a long time, too. People are getting all whacked up, especially in the Bitcoin community, like, oh, BRICS and the dollar hegemony, we're losing it. And it's like, guys, this has been happening for 15 years. Mike Maloney was doing this 15 years ago. He was doing the death of the dollar standard and showing the nails in the coffin. He stopped doing it like 5 or 6 years ago because there were so many nails in the dollar coffin that he couldn't even keep up with it anymore. He just stopped doing them. So people just now realizing this 5-6 years after it already got to be too much for Mike Maloney to stop his 10-year run of keeping track of everything. And now it's just speeding up, and people are starting to finally wake up out of their coma and even enlighten people, quite honestly, And Bitcoiners, who are some of the most enlightened people on the planet, seeing 5, 10, 50, 100 years down the road, that's generally most Bitcoiners, all Bitcoiners I know are very long-term thinking, very low time preference people. And that's what generally attracts people to Bitcoin, is thinking of a brighter future and hope. That's what Bitcoiners are. And that's why those kind of people tend to gravitate towards Bitcoin. And that this is completely obvious as what's happening, but this is why oil has been spiking along with an easing in what's going on. People thinking, hey, the economy is going to be good because we're easing. This is going to be great, which we're going to tap into right here. So the 10-year yield in U.S. Treasury fell below the yield in the 10-year U.S. Treasury note fell below 4%, approaching, I don't know why it says note fell below 4%. Didn't fall. Anyway. Touched on March 24th with recently released data. The number of job openings fell to under 10 million for the first time since May of 2021. And also, we're down 3.3 again, and this is the lowest we have seen, which I don't know what's going on with these stats here. Lowest in what? Basically since September? Is that what it said? I don't know why I'm losing my mind here. But anyway, that's kind of messed up. So we'll just do our own little spiel here. But again, 3.3. So we keep easing. People buying up bonds, enslaving themselves, which could be other countries, stuff like that, which is great. That's a great tactic to enslave other people's population by buying up their government bonds. That's what an incredible strategy. So that keeps falling, the yield. So bond prices keep moving up, which is great for, pensions and things like that. It's great for insurance, stuff like that. This is why rising rates, we're crushing everything, crushing countries, crushing pensions, crushing insurance companies, crushing banks, and Bitcoin just continue to rip. Gold and silver ripping, which we'll get to in a second. But the trifecta here, the United States 10-year, people moving into bonds, moving out of the dollar. So you're going to see here in a second, we'll see where's the DXY at? 1015. 1015. This is the lowest it's been since, what was this? February 1st. And then before that was, what is that, April of last year? That's the lowest it's been. So we are, and again, we've been talking about this for a while. Look at this, and we've said this for a long time. Hey, we're going to monitor this, but this global liquidity that has been being pushed into the market, really everything changed in September, October. We've been saying this for months. Everything changed, guys. Liquidity being poured into the market somewhere, somehow, central banks pouring money in the market, whether it's fiscal or monetary stimulus, it's coming in, and it's pushing this market, and it's holding this market right now. And it's going to continue. If this continues, look at this. I mean, this is a massive downtrend in the dollar strength. You can see it's just going straight down the last 6 months. It's wild. So that's been, the dollar's been weakening up from what, 101 or 115 or 114, whatever it got to. So this has been continuing to weak, which is good for the, and seen by the global liquidity indicators. So we talk about the big three, the dog that wags the tail, the U.S. 10-year, the dollar relative strength, DXY, and then oil prices. We talked about getting a phone call, but I don't know where my phone is. And so we talked about this, the dollar or the oil going up, spiking up recently, right? So this is spiking up. And we have Saudis, because of many reasons, the Saudis are cutting some production, saying, hey, they're doing the BRICS thing. So people thinking, oh, this is going to be tougher. We're tapping into the SPR, it's strategic petroleum reserves here in America. Genius move. And then we're denying permits here. We're not re-upping our oil leases. We're not drilling here. Just doing all kinds of things. We're doing things, as Paul Harvey would say, if I were the devil and I was going to take out America, what would I do? Well, I would constrict it and restrict all of its oil and energy, and I would restrict, I'd do all the things that this administration is doing. And again, we're going to call balls and strikes. I don't care who's in power. It doesn't matter. This administration is vehemently anti-American. And there's nothing else you can say about it other than that. If they were doing things that were pro-America, they would do the opposite of what they're doing. So we have to call balls and strikes. So that means the people in America are going to suffer, and really around the world as well. And this is the globalist, the Fabianist mentality of what's going on. Again, guys, read the books. Read the books. These books talk all about what is happening for the last century and what they're trying to do. And we're at the end game. The Club of Rome, the Royal Institute of Internal Affairs, or Royal Institute of International Affairs. I mean, the Naked Communists go through all this tragedy and hope. You read Klaus's books, Great Narrative, The Great Reset. These people have literally told us what they're going to do for 100+ years. It's only our fault for not teaching this in school to our children, to not studying it on our own. Right? We've become brain slaves to our job. Robert Kiyosaki talks about it in this book right here. He talks about purposely making brain slaves and going to a job 9 to 5 and just droning on, and being too tired, getting home from work and not being able to study or read or do anything. And then you vote with your pocketbook, you vote with your job, and your pensions through your job, and your health care through your job, and everything's tied to your job. If your employer says jump, you say how high. That's the world we live in now. And this is why the average person, unfortunately, can't think for themselves, because they're tied in this system where the inflation, the dollar's running away from them, so their expenses are running away from them. They're tied to their paycheck, and they don't have any skills, because government-run schools just teach you to memorize things. There's no real skills anyone has. So they're tied to this job, and their livelihood is tied to this job. They're taken away from their family. They got to go work all day long. They got to go on trips. Sorry, family, got to go. Bye. Good luck raising the kids. And we see this is why we had the massive problems we have. Nolan Bauer talked about this recently, like the whole thing about the psyops and the right of like, well, we just need more fathers in homes. It's like, yeah, we do, but how does that happen? We got to fix the money. We got to have God come back into life and have actual sense of purpose and calling back into life. And that makes people really just decide to do different things in their life. What's their actual calling? What's their actual purpose? What's your actual mission? Is it your children? Is it actually living for someone else instead of just doing things selfishly, or in advancing humanity? And then it's fixing the money. 1A is that, and then 1B is you got to fix the money. Otherwise, we just go right back in this rabbit hole of despair. We just go right circle down the drain of letting the oligarchs and the autocrats and the globalists destroy our currency, and then spray that currency, take all of our time and energy through those jobs, tax us, and then spray all that currency they stole from us, the time and energy, back into propaganda and hashtags and end zones and campaigns and Bud Light cans and blast into our face and try to change culture through Google algorithms or through media and propaganda. This is the world we live in. We have done this. So we can change this. Guys, please share this stuff out. We can't be Messiah in your own town. So, a lot of my family believes the way I do, and they want truth and morality to win. But it's still at the same time, they'll laugh at me. They'll still, like, okay, we've heard it enough, Brandon, things like that, even though they believe like me. It's hard to be a Messiah in your own town, right? So we have to stick together. We have to be together and build this. And so someone needs to hear this or see this. Please share it out with them. And sometimes it's easier for someone else to be saying it. And so we have, those are the trifecta, right? What's the global liquidity indicators? Bitcoin, gold, and silver saying? Well, Bitcoin is up at 50, 70% higher this year. So 28.5, right? So it's been ripping the last month or two because of all the craziness going on. This is absolute clown world. Again, all the other garbage coins, don't pay attention to any of this other BS. It's total garbage. Will completely collapse. Captured coins. They're not decentralized. They're completely centralized. They're companies. They're all securities. Bitcoin is the only thing to pay attention to. It's the commodity. It's the asset without an issuer. So we look at that to see what's going on. And then we have gold and silver. Boy, oh boy, look what's happened in the last day or so with gold and silver. Gold up 2%. Silver up over 4%. Silver's at $25. It's the highest it has been in, what is this, April of last year? So a year ago. Gold over 2,000. I don't remember the last time gold was up over this either. So April last year as well. We're in an amazing time, and gold, silver, and Bitcoin have a long way to go. I mean, these are going. Gold's going to be in the 5 digits someday in the coming years here. Silver's going to be in the 3 and 4 digits most likely, and Bitcoin's going to be in the 6, 7 digits easily within the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. This is time to prepare. This is time to buy your insurance. And those are insurances. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, those are insurance hedges. They have insurance like quality. It's not actual insurance, but they're insurance on crisis. Insurance has counterparty to it. ironically. So your actual insurance companies will go out of business, and they will over the next 5-10 years. You're going to see a lot of insurance companies go out of business. Some of them will figure it out, like Mass Mutual. Some of these companies are figuring it out and getting into Bitcoin. I'm sure some of them have gold and silver, but they're getting into Bitcoin, seeing the writing on the wall, seeing how Bitcoin is going to destroy bonds. Because again, insurance companies, pensions, endowments, all these are built on bonds and buying bonds and risk-free return, but really it's return-free risk. You're enslaved. Bonds, the root word of bondage, you're enslaving yourself. You're guaranteeing your future taxation and your children's taxation in the future. So this debt per citizen will be 100,000 or 200,000 in the next few years, and it'll be 500,000. National debt's going to be 100 trillion. That's going to be a quadrillion in the next couple of decades. This is only going one direction. It's not going back the other way. Again, please show me where this is going to go back the other way. And this is the dollar getting destroyed by Bitcoin. This has been you in the last 10 years. You've been holding the dollar. This is you getting destroyed by Bitcoin. Again, make the fair trade for yourself. A finite container for your finite time is Bitcoin. This is a container. Your money, your currency is a container for your time and energy. Fiat currencies have a hole in them. They're called inflation, and the government can just steal it from you at will. Steal your time and energy. Period. End of day. So make the fair trade for yourself. Get a finite container for your finite time and energy. Time is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is time. That's why we say that every single day here. So we know which way this is going on. Bitcoin, gold and silver, they have central bank guarantees. They are guaranteed to go up over time because the currencies can fall to zero. So those can go up infinitely as those currencies go to zero, because they will continue falling. Because one is infinite, currencies are infinite, they can be infinite, so that means they continue to lose value as they lose purchasing power because they can print them into oblivion, where gold and silver have a little bit of an inflation rate. You can still find more of them. That's why Bitcoin is perfectly inelastic. It's only 21 million. So that's why it will beat everything over the long run, be the fastest horse, because the price is the only thing, the purchasing power, we should say, the value of it, the purchasing power is the thing that will massively increase because it's finite. It's inelastic. So a finite asset for your finite time. Right now, people are saving dollars, wondering how they're getting ahead. Dollars is debt. Here we are. This is why we show this every day too. Dollars are debt. It's owed back to the central bank with interest. Once you pay back every single dollar, boom, what happens? There's only interest left, and the system implodes. This is why we need to go further and further into debt, the country and the globe, because it's a debt-based system. There's no equity. There's no capital. There's no alignment of incentives at all. This is what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin aligns all these incentives. This is why I'm so passionate. Someone just said, like, hey, I love your stuff, and I just a little bit hard on, a little bit much on Bitcoin at times. It's like, yes, because I've been through all this for 20 years. I have literally been in politics. Then I was, studying history, studying the military, then being in business and having my own family office, and investing for the last 12 years, and continually doubling and tripling my net worth, 15x my net worth over the last 10 years because I've followed these principles, first principles. Being in primary assets, gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate, primary assets that I own, that are tangible and that don't have counterparty risk, gold, silver, and Bitcoin primarily. And then there'll be a time to get into some other assets over time, maybe more cash flowing assets. But we are entering an insane time. This is why most hedge funds can't beat the index. That's why Warren Buffett says, just get an index. Just get an index because you're not going to be able to beat anything. We live in clown world. And I got to get off my high horse here because this is so frustrating. But this is why I've been through the gauntlet. It's not like I just woke up one day. I'm like, oh, I'm a genius. Bitcoin to the moon. I'm a moon boy. No, I've just been down this road. I've been studying this stuff 10,000 plus hours. I probably have 20,000, 15,000 hours over the last 20 years studying military, history, psychology, philosophy, investing, options trading, doing real estate, doing all these things firsthand and experiencing these things, and then seeing politics and everything and just being like, oh my gosh, the money is broken 10 years ago. The bailouts, one side, the uniparty, one side started the bailouts, the other side came in and finished it off. Only one thing can fix that. It's fixing the money, separation of money and state. Bitcoin is that answer. And ironically, was given to us in 08, 09 during the last crash when the world finally imploded, when the fourth turning was started. I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. Let's see if Bitcoin's running while we wrap this up. And please share this out. The algorithm hates truth. Seek truth. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. This is not financial advice. It's freedom advice. This is why. Because I realize the greatest threat to humanity is the wealth gap. And it's not because of like the way that modern day liberals say wealth gap. It's because if I'm financially free, that's great. But I only help myself. I'm only helping other people. If we have a wealth gap that's this big and there's rioting going on, we're Biff Tannen's Pleasure Paradise in Back to the Future 2, And my kids have to go get gas with a shotgun in their car, but they're super wealthy. What does it matter at the end of the day? So that's when I realized over the last handful of years, oh my goodness, I need to stop worrying about just how can I make passive income and how can I get even wealthier and how can I help other people get wealthy. Great, education is great. We need that. But the biggest thing, the root cause is the money. They've broken the money. They've taken the gold out of the money. They've taken out of the paper. They've taken the silver out of the coins. And we're left with debt. They've enslaved everyone. They've put everyone in bondage. We're in pods in the Matrix. So that's why the Matrix was created, that movie. Go watch the Matrix again. We are being sucked of our time and energy through pods. We just don't see it because we're just not connected to the machine directly. These people use our time and energy. They send us off to war to distract us and to go pillage, villages and take their resources. And I'm as American as they come. I played for this country. I played for the red, white, and blue. I've donned the sweater before. It's one of the most favorite times of my life. It was my goal in life was to play for the United States of America. I wanted to be in the military. Wanted to be a fighter pilot. Wanted to be a Navy SEAL. I am the prototypical American boy, all-American boy. And if I can see the problems, then anyone can see the problems. If I can have the scales fall from my eyes and realize, hey, America's not perfect. We've done a lot of stupid stuff, and we can change this. But we're not perfect. But we're as Greg Foss says, we're the best-looking horse at the glue factory. Then, hey, we can change, and we can be the shining city on the hill again. American exceptionalism, which is really the documents, Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence. That's why people come to America. That's the American exceptionalism. That's the American way. And we will get back to that. So Bitcoin is running. We can audit it. It's predictable. Unlike the banks, unlike the central banks, unlike the government, we have a monetary system between the people, run by code, by rules, and not rulers, that we can predict. And that is reliable. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your time and energy more than you know. Please share this out. Please. And go check out some of our other videos we have that we've been doing recently, obviously, on just all the different current events going on. It's wild times. If you guys have anything that you'd like us to touch on here as well, and like you'd like me to talk about, please share it. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.